So, you want to be a dungeon master.
So you want to be a dungeon master.
So you want to be a dungeon.
So you want to be a dungeon master.
So, you want to be a dungeon master.
That's great. We're here to help. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Justin. This week, we're meeting with the realtor. We're touring properties and we're freaking house hunting because this episode is all about Bastions. Most dungeon masters have probably given their party a stronghold, a keep, or even a villa for them to call home. We may have even homebrewed some mechanical benefits. But in the Dungeon Master's Guide 2024, we have a whole chapter dedicated to Bastions. There's a good amount to cover, so let's get into it. But first... What is a bastion, a stronghold, or a home base from either books, TV, or movies that really resonates with you? Something that sticks in your head, and what makes it stick out?
I'll admit this one took me a little while, but I think I got the perfect one.
Mm-hmm.
Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters.
Whoa.
The school from X-Men. It's got everything. It's got labs. It's got the danger room. It's got all the Cerebro. It's got all which from a D&D standpoint, it's yes, dude. Oh my God, yes.
A outdoor tennis court that becomes, I think it's a tennis court. It might be basketball.
It's one or the other, yeah. But it does. It opens up and the jet flies out of it. It's so fucking cool. Not to mention you have all these sweet ass mutants running around and I don't know. I've always been kind of the nerdy, weird outcast in society. So I'd always really it's just one of those places where I feel like I would fit in, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's I love it. I love it to death.
X-Men is
I
great.
love the X-Men. I love fucking all of them.
I love the X-Men. Do you have a favorite
Such
X-Men?
a great story. A favorite X-Men. Oh, God. It's so hard to not just say Nightcrawler.
Dude, he's so cool. I kind of low-key forget a little bit about him, and then someone mentions him, and I'm like, oh wait, no, that's my favorite.
Yeah, I mean,
I
feel like the most common I was gonna say is Nightcrawler or Gambit.
I love them. I can't help it. I don't care if it's cliche. They're both so cool.
I do have a soft spot in my heart for Rogue.
Oh, I love that.
Just because her power is so
brutal.
Volatile.
Yeah.
It really, she has the ability to get, to do really cool things, but also it hurts the people around her if she wants to do stuff that, do wombo combos or whatever. It actually hurts her friends to use her powers.
For sure. Yeah, that's
and
cool.
not to mention the whole, she almost killed Captain Marvel, and that's how she can fly and stuff now.
In the comics and the animated shows. Yeah, I remember seeing those so young, right? Obviously they just did a reboot, but we were in the 90s when those shit came out with that insane intro song and stuff.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
But I remember watching those, and Rogue has a southern accent. She flies around. She flirts with Gambit a ton. And she punches things. She has super strength and flight and all this stuff. And then you watch the first X-Men movie and you're like, okay.
What?
What exactly?
That's exactly how I felt about it.
And then, you do a little research and you're like, oh, okay, she almost killed Captain Marvel. That's why she has. Okay. So this is just a little bit of a prequel for her part of the story. That's fine.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. We're not going to introduce Captain Marvel's not going to for 15 years we're not going to see,
and the crossover is even going to take longer, and who knows what's going to happen. And Anna Paquin, God bless you, but what are we doing? And so I love X-Men so freaking much, but I went in a different direction for this one. Okay. So as you personally know, I've talked to you about it. I recently finished an anime called Black Clover. It's so good. I highly recommend it. It's a ton of fun. But if you're into normal shonen jump fighting, you know what I mean? It's got it. It's good. Yeah. It's fun. Hell yeah. Cool abilities, pretty interesting stuff. I mean, there's it doesn't go that deep into the powers in the sense that some people are good at close-up stuff and some people are good at far-away stuff, and some people use close-up stuff with fire and some people use close-up stuff with ice and some people use close-up stuff with, I don't know, electricity, but they're all close-up stuff. They're not that different, right? So it's that kind of takes away a little bit for me personally. But anyway, I loved this show. It was so fun. I loved the characters. And the main character joins a group of magic knights called the Black Bulls. And just like all of the magic knight squads, they have their own little like hideout or headquarters. Mm-hmm. And so there's the Black Bulls hideout. And that's what I'm picking for my bastion of choice because it's so cool. You almost don't even realize how important it is until the later seasons. Cause like it starts off, spoilers ahead, it starts off just this really cool hideout. It's just got all the rooms you need for it. It's got everything you need, right? Pretty basic, but okay. And then there's like little foreshadowing secrets that they spread. Hold on. Dogs are barking. And my dogs are barking. And so then
I was looking for it. I was looking for the joke.
Can't help myself. I have impulse control. So then there are little foreshadowing clues of like, hey, wasn't the kitchen next to the living room? Like, why is my bedroom upstairs now? Like the rooms would shift. And so there was this like weird thing, and it was just kind of like, okay, maybe the fucking house is haunted or something, or it moves. Like that's kind of weird, but cool. But then later on, when the actual hideout itself gets attacked, we find out that there's a powerful magic user living in the house, and it's actually like their house, and they have the ability to move the entire hideout. So the entire hideout goes from just being a hideout to being, and I'm not joking, a bull-shaped mech suit the size of buildings.
That's so funny.
It's nuts. Multiple different forms and shapes. Like if you're trying to just travel, the magic user inside of the house can move the entire hideout as if it were a bull running. He can also stand on two legs and fist fight. He also can like shoot his fists like rocket gloves, like a normal mech would. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. And then that's like wild. He's able to like fix the building itself through his magic also. Like he's deeply connected to the building. It's all very crazy and interesting. But that's definitely what stuck in my head as,
yeah, where do you even go from there? Like that's wild.
Yeah. And it becomes one of those places that's like, it's a really important place, not only from like a practical standpoint, like it's the hideout, of course it's important, but also like it becomes a sentimental thing also. Like there eventually comes a time, again spoilers, where the hideout gets destroyed for a short amount of time before eventually they fix it up again. But like in that time, it's very devastating to the people who call that place home, you know, like it's really important. The main character grew up an orphan and always had to share bedrooms and stuff. So like when he gets his own bedroom, it's a piece of shit. It's like a concrete room. It looks like a prison cell, but it's his prison cell, you know? So it's like a really important moment. So I really do enjoy the Black Bulls hideout in that show. I looked up a couple others. I don't know. They don't really fall under the idea of a bastion from D&D where there's like a ton of mechanical benefits, but there are like really important ones. Like obviously there's, I'm just looking at a list on Google, right? There's Minas Tirith from Lord of the Rings. Sure. Fairly important. Hyrule Castle. Yeah. From Legend of Zelda. Castle Grayskull from He-Man. Pretty important. Adventure Time has Candy Queen's Castle. There's a bunch.
So I thought of those ones, but those ones are like almost
Dracula,
so Hogwarts I would accept as Bastion. But like some of those are like full on like cities. Like there were a couple of them where I was like, I could do that, but that's like it's a walled city.
No,
it's not 100%. Really like a whatever. But yeah. I just thought of another one though that's pretty dope. The fucking Batcave.
The Batcave is a huge one, dude. The Batcave is huge. The Legion of Doom.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the Hall of Justice.
The Hall of Justice, another great one.
Yep.
There's tons. Send us an email, soyouwannabeadm @gmail.com. Let us know your favorite bastion or stronghold in
for sure.
You know, whatever. But let's get into it because there is a decent amount to cover. We're actually not going to be able to get to everything that bastions have to offer today, just because the episode would seriously be too long, or we would have to like, you know, only cover bullet points, in which case you're not really getting all the information. Yeah. So consider this Bastions 101 and stay tuned for Bastions 202 sometimes next month or maybe the following month. Who knows? Hey gang, we wanted to talk to you about something pretty important real quick. See, we have some really cool ideas for the future, but we need your help. You can do that by supporting us through our Patreon. At the lowest tier, you get early access to podcast episodes, access to episodes of Action Surge, our post-session table talk show, and entry into a private channel on our Discord server. At the next tier, you can get access to Bonus Action, our bonus content podcast where we talk about a huge variety of D&D and TTRPG related things, like multi-class mystery mashup, where we get 2 random classes and have to build a character, or Monster Matchmaker, where we go over our favorite monsters at each CR level, or recaps of our home campaign, plus so much more. Joining the Patreon helps us continue to grow and put out content that gets better and better as we learn, improve, and try new things. So, check out the link in the description to join the gang today. But let's start off. Wait, what is a Bastion? The heck?
So, yeah, all right. So I actually I went on the internets and I actually looked up what the actual Merriam-Webster definition for Bastion is. And it's an institution, place, or person strongly defending or upholding particular principles, attitudes, or activities.
That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it would include people. Because it was, to use it in a sentence, it's like, oh, he was a bastion of honesty or something like that. Like he stood for honesty, this person, and or whatever, Yes. But I get that. Okay, cool.
Yes. So the D&D definition, though, is a stronghold or base or a stronghold or a base of operations where the players can get refuge, craft things, conduct research, harvest materials, and a bunch more.
So much more.
There's a whole bunch of, yes. So this is actually specifically a building of some sort that you get as a player that gives you mechanical benefits in the game.
Yep. That's pretty much it in a nutshell.
That's it.
The book goes over, there's a whole chapter. It's I think the last chapter in the book before the lore glossary. So chapter 8 goes over a ton of things, everything you would need to know about Bastions. There's a ton of tables and resources and all kinds of good stuff. It starts with a bunch of tips after it goes over this little definition. And I liked these tips. I think that they're important. The first one actually really stood out to me as being oh, duh. But for some reason, it didn't cross my mind as much, because Bastions are new. So I just assume that every table is going to be we must have Bastions. And the first tip is just the idea that not every campaign or party needs a Bastion. And I was like, oh, duh. Yeah. That's smart. I'm glad that they put it in there, though, for people like me who just kind of forgot that it's not mandatory.
Yeah, it's definitely not mandatory. But I feel like prior to this, there were a lot of tables, our home table included, that had a Bastion before there were actually rules for it. I think that I think that it's really cool, and I like that they've added some mechanics to it. If we ever manage to get our stronghold back, that would be dope to be able to wrap some of these things into it. But we'll see.
Or even make a makeshift Bastion for the time being in the tent city.
That's a good idea.
Because if you can imagine, obviously getting to Waterdeep and fully getting your keep back would be kind of end game stuff, so there wouldn't be that much time to even take advantage of because we're going to go over stuff here, making your Bastion bigger, adding on to it. It takes dozens if not hundreds of days in game, so we'll go over all of it. But yeah, no, it's definitely something that most tables have already had, but this adds structured mechanics to it, but also it gives you the leeway to decide how those mechanics play in your games or whether they play at all. Maybe you're just hey guys, we're just going to be playing a short, couple session game. We're not doing Bastion. You know what I mean? And that's totally fair to be guys, we're doing 4 sessions. I'm not doing Bastions. Or maybe one Bastion action and then you're done or whatever,
Right. I was going to say, you're going to get exactly one thing to do with the Bastion and that's it.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So you don't need a Bastion, but it is an incredible fun resource. Bastions are best suited for campaigns that allow players to visit the Bastion occasionally. Not every PC needs to opt into the Bastion because the way these Bastions work, and I was a little surprised by this, it was just something I didn't know until I read that section of the book, that it's not the party's Bastion. No. It can be in some ways, you can combine them, but each party member gets a Bastion, and then you can combine them, and we'll go over all of how to do that, how that all works. So not every PC needs to opt into the Bastion. If you're the PC and you're I don't want to worry about an extra mechanic, I don't want to think about it, I don't want my character to pay money for this or resource, you don't have to. Totally fine.
Don't do it.
there's no need to choose between having and maintaining a bastion and going out on adventures. You could do both. There's a lot that your bastion can do while you're out crawling through some D's and slaying those D's. You know what I mean?
I feel like that means two things, Justin.
It means dungeons and it means dragons, baby.
Okay.
What did you think?
Okay. Yeah, what? Come on. Come on.
You know me. Super clean comic here. Stupid. Okay. So, gaining a bastion. How the heck do you get one?
So, getting a bastion. You can get a bastion at level 5. Sick. And it's kind of, there's a bunch of different ways that you can do it, and you kind of just work it out with your players, with your DMs, all that stuff. You can get it, you can like inherit it from a old dead uncle or something. Yeah. You can buy one.
There you go.
It can be a gift, like as a reward or something for a quest. You could steal one.
Yeah, they didn't write that one. I wrote that one.
Oh yeah, you could. Okay.
I thought that was kind of cool.
It's like, dang, they wrote that in the book.
They didn't write that one. I wrote that one because I was like, whoa, that's kind of crazy though. What if that has something to do with it? Because like again, it's a bastion per PC. That's the really important thing to remember as we go through this whole thing. Is this idea that each player has their own bastion. So like one player could get it inherited or through gifts or whatever. The rogue in the group, or if you have the criminal background, whatever it may be, maybe you swiped it.
Maybe.
And it can build up to level 5. Like this can be part of your story even as early as level 1. And it's just like building up to the point where you can finally access it. Like maybe it's under construction. Maybe it's, you know what I mean? There's all different ways to do it.
It's a fun mechanic. Or like a quest line of like, hey, these bad dudes are all holed up in this bastion somewhere. Yeah. And you got to raid it. And
you got to raid that. You got to take that bastion. Get that bastion. I love that. Yeah. It's so fun. There's so much freedom that the way that this is all written out. It's very inherent of D&D as a system. There's like a ton of rules, but then there's also so much ambiguity intentionally put in there for the sake of descriptions and how you decide what things look like, all of that kind of stuff.
Right.
Because each player gets to design their own bastion in terms of how it looks. It's totally up to you.
Right.
Is it stucco? Is it stone? Is it wood? Who cares? Go for it.
And we'll get into the actual like mechanics of it. But basically the way it works down is at a certain level, you get this many rooms. And then at the next level, you get a couple more rooms.
Yeah.
And so you kind of build onto it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, basically, if you want to do a collective bastion or something, each player gets to basically pick 2 rooms that are in the bastion.
Yeah, it's
to start.
So like, so when players are making their bastion, they can create what's called a bastion map. Here, this section here, I'm gonna highlight and save for later, for like 2 seconds later, because it kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So players pick their bastions and what they're going to look like and stuff like that at level 5. And then you can help them create a floor plan. And this is like the bastion map. It can include everything from closets to corridors, ramps, and stairs, defensive walls, doors, and windows. These are just things that are included in your bastion. And there's all different kinds of information on there in the book. For example, it even goes over like defensive stats for the walls, like AC, hit points, everything like that you would need. It goes over how to combine bastions if 2 or more players combine their bastions into a shared space. It is very important to know that nothing really changes. It's all kind of RP, except for bastion defenders, which is a specific like category of hirelings kind of that can be shared. Where if Taylor's bastion's getting destroyed and he's out of hirelings, mine can go help if we did that way. But like it's not like his hirelings can help my facilities make more poison. Like that doesn't work.
Right.
So there's like almost nothing changes except for bastion defenders. That's the only thing that gets shared between the space. Hirelings, resources, the number of facilities all stays the same regardless of combining. And then there are basic facilities and special facilities. Special facilities are the ones where it's like you get 2 at this level, then you get 2 more later on, and there's a whole table for it. But basic facilities are everything that includes like a bedroom, a courtyard, dining room, kitchen, parlor, storage. They all come with basic furniture and decor. They don't have any mechanical benefits, but they're great for story building and development and role playing. And to add those basic facilities, you have to figure out how much money you're willing to spend and how much time you're willing to spend for the sizes. Yes, like Taylor was talking about earlier. It depends on the size of the space that you're looking for. And again, a lot of this is just role play and stuff, but a cramped space, aka like a 4-grid square, that's 500 gold pieces, and it takes 20 days.
That's wild.
Roomy is considered 16 grids. That's 1,000 gold and 45 days. Then we have vast, 36 grids, 3,000 gold, 125 days.
Wow. And that's just a basic facility.
That's just a basic facility. So it's a pretty lofty thing. Now, again, there isn't
like a lot of money for no mechanical benefit. I'm sorry. Like
it is. And that's the weird part kind of about it is that like, does this mean I need to spend $500 for a bedroom, $500 for a dining room, $500 for a kitchen? Or is this saying spend $500 and you get these basic facilities?
I got you. Yeah. I don't know. I'd be doing a lot of hand waving during this part. I'd be doing a lot of hand waving for a lot of this. For the basic facilities, I'm not going to charge my party 3,000 GP for a fucking giant room that does nothing.
Yeah, I think
Sorry.
It really is like,
sorry, Wizards, it's not happening.
It's a little interesting, right? Because it doesn't go over like a ton of detail.
Yeah, and I mean 125 days.
Well, you get two right off the bat. You get two basic free facilities. Just you get them. One of the chosen is cramped, the other is roomy, and then you get to add on things if you would like to.
Right.
And then there's also enlarging basic facilities. So again, you start with a cramped and a roomy, then you can upgrade, going from cramped to roomy, 500 GP, 25 days. Roomy to vast, 2,000 GP, and 80 days. So again, I kind of agree with you that I would be a little loose and fast with a lot of the basic facility things since it is so much just flavor and RP.
Yeah. And that's so much time too. 125 days in actual game time is wild.
Oh yeah. The time thing is nuts.
That's crazy. But I feel the same way about their rules for potion crafting as well. So the time and money that it costs to make a common healing potion is insane.
Yes, it absolutely is. Crafting in general in 5e or 2024 for that matter, tend to assume that the players are going to be like living in these characters for years and years in game, and that's just like maybe how some games go. I've never come across one. I mean, like, don't get me wrong.
Most
I love the
games
idea of time skips, but we haven't done that because that takes a lot, actually.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of D&D campaigns take place over like a week, really. If you boil down to it, it's like
ours
a month.
Do, at least.
That's
because I don't like doing huge breaks.
Yeah.
Like,
we've
done it before where we've done like downtime where it's like, okay, you guys have a week, but that's kind of it. We don't really do like a whole like, okay, 3 months go by.
Right.
Here's the deal, like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's a note to us to maybe add something, a little bit of a game changer. Yeah. But it is interesting. Yeah. All of those different lengths of time to add on things or to upgrade things or whatever it may be. But those are just basic facilities. Now let's get into special facilities.
Okay. Yes.
So these are the ones that have the mechanical benefit. These are the goodies.
Okay.
These cannot be bought. Fuck you, capitalism. You have to level up in order to get these, and many of them, not all, actually not many, some of them have prerequisites.
Okay.
Some of the prerequisites are like you must be level 13, and other ones are like you must have expertise in a skill, or you must use a spellcasting focus or arcane focus. Like you have to be a spellcaster. So like there are some really specific ones, like the arcane study would be the example. The arcane study requires that you either use a spellcasting focus or an arcane focus. If you don't, you cannot build an arcane tower. Sorry, fighters. Unless you're an Eldritch Knight, maybe. Do you get a
unless you're an Eldritch? Yeah, because your sword counts as a spellcasting focus.
There you go. That's all that matters.
Your weapon is your spellcasting focus.
That's all that matters.
spellcasting.
Sorry, champion fighters. You be an Eldritch Knight.
Yeah, be better. Just be better.
Be Eldritch.
Although I feel like there's some other ones that are beneficial for those martial classes.
Oh, no doubt.
And such.
Of course. I'm just talking about the Arcane Tower or the Arcane Study.
There are so many.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I included a screenshot from the book itself because I was like, I'm not going to rewrite all of these. There's so many.
Yeah, there's like you can put a teleportation circle in your base, which honestly super freaking handy.
It's nuts.
You know, training areas, trophy rooms,
armory, barrack, garden, library, sanctuary, smithy, storehouse, workshop, gaming hall, greenhouse, laboratory, sacristy, scriptorium, stable, teleportation circle, theater, training area, trophy room, archive, meditation chamber, menagerie, observatory, pub, reliquary, demiplane, guild hall, sanctum, war room.
Nice.
Insane.
I love having a guild hall. I love having
so cool.
The war room bit. Like it's all of these are really fun. Also really fun RP areas, just like the normal non-magical or non-basic facilities.
Yeah.
But they actually give you shit, which is super.
They actually give you a ton of shit also, whether you're there or not. And so how many do you get? When do you get them? Well, at fifth level is when you start making your Bastion to begin with. You get, obviously, those 2 basic ones. You also get 2 special facilities included in this. So you get to choose from that huge list that we just went over. Again, keeping in mind of prerequisites and stuff. Some of the things are so powerful that it's like, you can't add this until you're a higher level. But
right.
The other thing is that all of these special facilities come with hirelings. So now you get a bunch of people who work for the special facilities. They maintain it. They execute the Bastion orders, which we'll go over because that's when it gets down into orders and events and turns and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Your hirelings are always loyal and friendly. And if you choose, depending on how much emphasis and time and, energy you want to put into this, the DM and the players can come up with personalities, names, all kinds of stuff for these hirelings. You can, if you're overwhelmed as a DM, but your players want to do this, I would suggest just having like one dude. Like for us, it's Chip. Chip is the head of security at the villa. And Chip. There are other guards. They never get mentioned. It's just, hey, Chip, go tell the others that they need to do X, Y, and Z. It's that simple. And then I only need to think of Chip's voice, Chip's personality, and I'm good.
Love Chip.
Chip is great. Chip is great.
We mess with Chip so much, and he just stays loyal, and that's why we love him.
He's getting paid.
He's getting paid.
He's getting paid. Might as well stick around. And it's like relatively a safe job, actually, with the exception of the entire city getting sacked. But that's not specific to Chip or your villa.
Right.
Other than that, no one else has been trying to fuck with your villa because you guys are the the entire region's heroes. So for Chip, it's been a chill ass job.
Yeah. No,
it's been a chill ass job. You guys aren't home most of the time.
He's pretty much got the place.
He's got his feet up. He's like, if Fellas knew I had my feet up on the table, she'd kill me. This is where she makes her scones. God, yeah,
it makes me wish that I had like scry or clairvoyance or something just to peek in on Chip every now and then.
Hell yeah.
See what he's doing in the base.
Heck yeah. And so now we have this thing called Bastion turns. Right? This is how your Bastion works mechanically. And in game, the way they have it sort of set up is that they're every 7 days in game. Every week, you can give an order to your hirelings, back to your Bastion, what have you, and they will see that through. And there's a list of potential actions that they can take. Now, I thought this was really, really fascinating, and I actually really loved this. They do explicitly put in here, and this is, again, simply not a recommendation, an option, right? In the same way that it's like an option of being like, hey, you don't have to do Bastions. Like, they're not mandatory. You can, they're awesome, do them, but you don't have to. And they also put in here that the frequency of Bastion turns is another thing that can be up for discussion at your table. It doesn't have to be 7 days. If you're worried that your party is going to become too OP and like they're just going to start farming things. Like, for example, if you do something like, hey guys, you guys are going to be traveling to a really far away place and you have to do it by airship and that's going to take, half a year. I'm just making numbers up, but it's going to take a long amount of time, multiple months. That means that they're going to get so many Bastion turns.
Yeah.
They're going to be able to get so many resources, and maybe you're not ready for that as the DM. Maybe it's like kind of skews the balance, whatever it may be. It is okay if you extend the time between turns for Bastion. It's meant to be 7 days, but you can technically make it once a month or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just as a heads up.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Although I feel like a lot of these Bastion things that you can do are for the Bastion, by the Bastion, about the Bastion. Other than you can do like some crazy shit like make magic items or craft potions and stuff like that. Just real quick, like the different orders that you can do for the Bastion, and each one's kind of listed next to they're all attached to a facility. So if you have a special facility, it can do this one action. You can't like have your like your pub or your war room do research.
Right.
That's specifically for, the research ones. But you can do craft, you can do empower, you can harvest stuff, maintain, which, is basically just keep doing the same thing you're doing. You can recruit more hirelings. You can do research and have your Bastion do research for you about certain things, or you can do like trade and stuff like that, where you can kind of buy stuff at your base.
Yeah. Ton of stuff. Crafting speaks for itself. Empower, the special facility confers a temporary empowerment to you or someone else. Harvesting speaks for itself. Maintaining is going to be a really important one that we'll talk about more in this episode, because maintain is like this really interesting one that also leads us into something called Bastion events, which we'll go over in a second. But maintain is actually you'll notice that none of the special facilities have maintain as one of their orders, right? Like that's
right.
Maintain is one that you can do no matter what your special facility is or your basic facilities or whatever. It's just like it sounds, right? Like you said, it's maintaining the place, right? Making sure that it's all up to code and whatnot. But yeah, it's kind of like when you don't have anything else to do. When you're like, well,
right,
I don't need to recruit anymore. I don't need to harvest anything, whatever it may be. It's like, okay, then maintain. And then recruiting is really fun because it's also not just recruiting hirelings, it's also recruiting creatures. This can also include how you get some Bastion defenders.
Yeah.
Because defenders doesn't need to be humanoid, right? It can also be like a fucking beast or a monster.
Badass. How crazy would that be? Just have a bunch of like crazy beasts from this Shadowfell.
Yeah, man. That's why Menagerie is one of them. Is one of the special facilities is a menagerie.
Okay, so you can, all right.
You can literally have a fucking zoo, dude.
Fuck yeah.
Speaking of which, the Black Bull's hideout now that I'm thinking about it, did have a menagerie of beasts. So fun. But yeah, it's like there's so many cool things that you can do here and so many different options and just fun for customizing things and figuring out how it all works, So
yeah,
if you have multiple facilities, my understanding is that you would be able to give an action to each of them.
Or is it just one order per Bastion turn?
I don't think so. It's on a Bastion turn. No. A character in their Bastion can issue special orders called Bastion orders.
Okay.
Well, thanks.
Okay.
Thanks,
all right.
DD.
So then, yeah.
To one or more of their Bastion's special facilities.
Well, then, yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory.
That
right
works
there,
for
then.
me. And then it also
Absolutely.
says you don't need to issue orders to all of your special facilities. And then it talks about the maintain order is issued to the whole Bastion. Ooh, interesting. It is issued to the whole Bastion rather than to one or more special facilities. If a character isn't in their Bastion on a given Bastion turn, the Bastion acts as if though it were issued the maintain order on that turn. Unless, you had mentioned this in a outline note earlier, unless the owner can communicate with the hirelings using the sending spell or similar magic.
Okay. Which, all in all, is not, it's because you get it at level 5.
Sending's third level.
you've already
could have
technically
somebody
got
in the
sending
party.
as a spell. You could also, one of the like things in there, I don't know if you can get it at level 5, but you know, sending stones are a thing. You could set up a sending stone relay with your bastion just so that you can give orders while you're at. There's a million ways around that, but it does specifically say in the book you can only use, it has to be magic. It can't be like a carrier pigeon, or you can't leave like a list for them to do or something like that. You gotta actually physically talk to them via some kind of magic.
Yeah, I agree. But that would include a sending stone or something like that, or maybe even a dream spell I would allow. I would also allow the players, if depending on where they were, if they had a magic shop nearby, I would allow them to sort of circumvent the sending spell that way. Like pay somebody to do the sending spell if the party didn't have it, you know? If the party was just like, well, I need to prepare it, then it's like, okay, do your Bastion thing tomorrow. I'm not going to. But if the party's really like, none of us have sending, we don't have access to sending, we're not going to get sending forever. You know what I mean? Then it's like, okay, well, the point of the fucking Bastion is to do some Bastion actions. So.
Right, exactly.
I'm going to help you guys out a little bit. But you're absolutely right that with the Arcane Study, which is a level 5 one, so you would be able to get it at level 5. However, in order to craft a magic item, you have to be level 9 or above.
See, there it is. That's
everything else is crafting books and doing research.
That's how they get you.
Still cool though.
Still cool. Yeah, absolutely. These things are super OP, and they make the party even more OP because there's also kind of allowing stuff to happen elsewhere, like get research and stuff, and get assistance and magic items and all that.
As long as they can talk to them. That's the tricky part. The not being at home thing and it's still working this way is actually a little tricky because, again, each special facility has its own hirelings and its own people, kind of, right? So, like, if, let's say, I'm playing this character, I have the sending spell, sure, but it's, again, 5th level, so I have, 2 3rd-level slots?
Right.
That's only 2. So, hey, other PCs in my party, I can't talk to your people. I'm talking to my people. 2 3rd-level slots, done. I'm talking to my people, not your people. So now you have to figure out how they're going to talk to their people, because now they each need multiple uses of the sending spell. Sending stones can only even work once a day. So there's a whole lot of stuff. If you're not home, there's a lot of stuff that you have to get through in order to issue these orders. Otherwise, it's maintain. That's going to be like the most common one that comes up is maintain. And maintain, again, goes into some really interesting stuff with the Bastion events.
All right.
Man, I was reading through this. This is exciting. I think it would be fun for us to roll on the table and just out of curiosity kind of see what we get, as if we were doing this. Now, here's the fun part is that the way that these work. Oh my God, I just did a terrible thing. Hold on, please.
What is this, a D100 or?
It is a D100. So the nice thing here is that let's say you gave the maintain order.
Right.
And you had, because again, it does say here that maintain is a little unique, right? It's like you either give the maintain to your entire Bastion or none it, or you don't give the maintain, or you're giving orders. At a certain level of the game, you could have up to 6 different special facilities. That means you're either giving orders to all 6 to maintain, or you're giving individual orders out to all 6. But let's say you don't have enough sending spells. You can only give orders out to 1 or 2. Well, don't worry. We're going to talk about the fall of a Bastion at the very end of this episode. It gets crazy. Because if you stop issuing commands to specific special facilities, they fall apart. They're not maintained.
Yeah.
So you have to pick and choose and be like, all right, listen, I can only give 2 commands, but I really need those resources or whatever. So I'm going to risk it and not give a command to the rest of the facility. And you have to it's very interesting little gamble here. But every time that you pick,
I got you. So the maintain, you cannot go like, okay, I'm gonna give 1 command and maintain
the rest or something.
This other, or just like one other thing, like, because like not all of them break down. Some of them do. Not all of them do.
Well,
some of them do require you to make.
It says that neglect is one of the way. We're going to get into the fall of a Bastion.
Okay.
But there's a way.
Let's go over that.
If you don't issue commands for a certain number of days, not days, but the Bastion turns, it just stops. You just lose that part because the hirelings will quit. Like, it all just falls apart. Yeah, it's a whole thing. But anyway, so once a player chooses the maintain order for their bastion, then the DM rolls once on the bastion events table on page 350. If multiple PCs choose to maintain, so this would be like, Taylor, Allie, Megan, all of you are choosing to maintain, then I roll on the table 3 times, once for each of you. Because again, your guys' bastions, even if they're combined, they're also like your own. There's this beautiful story about, I love the concept of bastions in that there is individuality and also togetherness and community.
Yeah.
I like that it's both.
Yeah.
I think that's really, really nice. It's like a perfect analogy for like humans about how like, of course we have so much in common and we're beautiful together and community building. And I love all of that, but also we're unique snowflakes. And that's also cute. And that's how your bastions are.
Yeah.
So maintain usually means that the PCs aren't there. It gives an opportunity for the players to RP as their own hirelings. This could be a really fun thing. No one's there.
That could be really fun. Yeah.
You could do just a cutscene,
like
an entire session.
Yeah, I was thinking about like just a Naruto filler session.
Yeah.
Do 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 do.
Yeah.
Do 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 do.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love that so much.
It's so fun. I really, really like that idea a lot. So Bastion events. Now it goes into a pretty good detail for each of these about what happens, what you would do. And to give that example, let's both roll on this table and kind of see what happens. We might have to roll a couple times because I'll tell you right now, the very first one is all is well, and that's 1 through 50.
Really?
So the most likely thing to happen is just nothing.
It's just nothing. Everything's fine.
Everything is fine.
Actually, I like that though.
Fine. It does make sense. And then the top 51 and above, all kinds of stuff happens. Some of them bad, some of them good, some of them mixed. It's all over the place.
Get a matching D1 on here.
Ooh, okay, 41, all is well. I'm just going to keep rolling until I get something above 50.
27.
12.
48.
Oh my
48.
Okay, I got one. 62.
I got 51.
Perfect. 2 different ones. Okay, awesome. We'll do yours first because alphabetically it comes first. So I'll run through the events just using the main title. We have all is well, attack, criminal hireling, extraordinary opportunity, friendly visitors, guest, lost hirelings. I can't spell hirelings to save my life. Magical discovery, refugees, request for aid, and finally, treasure. Treasure you only get if you get a 99 or a 100. So we'll definitely have to go over that. But okay, so for Taylor, we got attack. So here's how it would play out in game. Maybe this is like the cutscene. This is where, Taylor, you get to role play as your head hireling for, whatever special facility that we're operating with right now. Maybe it's the armory or the training room. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
And so a hostile force attacks your bastion, but is defeated. Now roll 6d6 for me, Taylor.
Okay. 4, 6.
And then just tell me how many ones you roll out of that pool of 6 dice.
2.
2 of your bastion defenders have died in the fight.
No, you bastards.
Isn't that crazy, dude? If the bastion has 0 bastion defenders, then one of the bastion's special facilities is damaged and forced to shut down. A special facility that shuts down cannot be used on your next bastion turn, after which it is repaired and made operational again at no cost to you. So it's just a skip a turn for that particular facility.
Gotcha.
But still, the potential of losing up to 6 bastion defenders, even though it starts off immediately in the first sentence, it says, a hostile force attacks your bastion, but is defeated.
Right. So I was going over this section on defenders, and there's a very good like guide on these as well online on rpgbot.net. You can just search Bastions RPG bot, and they say defenders are a trap, and you should probably never use them. Yeah. So, and basically the way that they break it down is like they do all of the math in it, and you've got potential to just never take damage. just because, you know, you do have some defenders, I think, right? That you just have even without having a like recruit or anything like that. But
I think
like,
so, yeah.
and so
I don't know,
basically
it's a
the
little
way that they
vague.
boiled it down is if you use the meditation chamber to do the empower order, and you can reduce the probability of an attack from 1 in 20 to 1 in 400 of actually being attacked.
Whoa. Yeah. I'm not surprised that people have already found a way to completely break this.
Yeah.
And to
Yeah,
min-max the hell out of it, which is like a little annoying. Where it's like, guys, come on. Like, if you want no challenges, then by all means, D&D has a way for you. There's a path to play D&D with 0 challenges or like consequences or risk. And to me, that's not fun. But like, yeah, I like RPG Bot too. I mean, he puts a lot of time into like his analysis of things, and like I've seen him describe new spells and new this and new that, but he does get very mathy about it, which is not a bad thing. Of course, it backs up a lot of his arguments in a really good way. But sometimes it's like, well, technically this spell is this much damage, and I'm like, it's like 4 extra damage. Who cares? It's like, yeah, we know the spell does more damage than this spell, but like, who cares? I don't know. But I often like RPG Bot a ton. I would have to read that article that you sent me from him.
And basically the breakdown of it is not so much that you have a certain amount of defenders, it's that you automatically get defensive walls, and those do a lot when it comes to defending against things, obviously.
For sure. Absolutely. All kinds of stuff. Okay, so I got a 62, and a 62 is extraordinary opportunity. Your Bastion is given the opportunity to host an important festival or celebration, fund the research of a powerful spellcaster, or appease a domineering noble. Work with the DM to determine the details. If you seize the opportunity, you must pay 500 gold to cover the costs. In return, your Bastion gains a sudden influx of recognition and attention, prompting the DM to roll again on the Bastion tables, re-rolling if this result comes up again. And if you decline the opportunity, obviously you don't have to pay, but you don't get the extra potential benefit. And so...
But carpe that motherfucking DM, y'all.
Now, I'm going to carpe the DM. 28, all's well. That feels like not a great...
Wow, yeah.
That's it.
500. It cost you 500 gold for that, huh?
Mechanically, nothing. However, unless the DM like rewards what happened here, because what we're talking about is you did an extraordinary thing. You hosted this incredible event for the town. You did wherever your Bastion's located. You know, something happened. You agreed to this. You paid the money. You covered it. It went well, because I just rolled on the table and it said all is well. So the event went well.
Right.
Even though there's nothing written here that says like you get XP or you get this much gold or whatever, I would like to believe that most DMs would be like, okay, but that is good. Next time you go into town, you're more likely to get a little bit more influence, whatever it may be. You know what I mean? But yeah, technically. Oh, I just got an 81. Magical discovery. Your hirelings discover or accidentally create an uncommon magic item of your choice at no cost to you.
Damn.
Wait for the last sentence because it's a huge bummer, but it must be a potion or a scroll.
I don't know.
It's
I don't know.
Cool, but let's be honest.
I fuck around with some potions.
No,
I really do
know,
fuck around
but
with some potions a lot.
Not as cool as just open-ended uncommon item.
Yeah, that's true.
There's simply must be a part of you that's like
some free boots of Elvenkind would be nice.
There's so many, cloak of protection.
Yeah.
I think there's like one that's called like a cat's
I got a
good luck stone.
63 on my next one. I think is the same one that we already did, the opportunity one.
63 is an opportunity. Yeah. I mean, all of them are really interesting. All as well is pretty simple, obviously, right? Nothing significant happens. Roll on the table, fleshing out the details as you see fit. You can roll a D8.
We got a 95. What's a 95?
Ooh, 95 is request for aid. Let's check that one out. Your Bastion is called on to help a local leader. Perhaps there's a search on for a missing person, or brigands are plaguing the area. If you help, you must dispatch one or more of your Bastion defenders. Roll 1d6 for each Bastion defender you send. If the total is 10 or higher, the problem is solved and you earn a reward. of 1d6 times 100 gold. If the total is less than 10, then the problem is still solved, but the reward is halved. And one of your Bastion defenders is killed.
Oh, no. No.
That's really interesting. Yeah, because it's 1d6 per Bastion defender, and the DC is a 10. So you simply must invite at least 2 if you are trying to win this thing.
Yeah.
And even then, I mean, d6 hitting a 10 is not easy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Failed. Yeah, this is so fun, though. I really do like this. I love the idea of doing the cutscenes. You know me, I'm a sucker for a cutscene. So I love this. I'll eat this shit up. The idea that we're going to have an entirely separate story, kind of. Of just a bunch of hirelings of just chilling around
regular dudes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Justin, you could do it's D&D out in the world for the PCs, kids on bikes for the Bastion.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. That's so funny. That's such a fun idea of the bouncing back and forth and stuff.
Yeah.
There's some really, I mean, all of these are cool. Obviously, criminal hireling, you find out that one of your hirelings is actually a criminal.
Oh,
and
shit.
So you can either pay a bribe, or actually, no, it's more specific. This is interesting the way they worded this. I'm sorry to
they implicate you in the crime.
No. It's that one of your hirelings has a criminal past that comes to light when officials or bounty hunters come to visit with a warrant for the hireling's arrest. Now you can choose to either bribe them 1d6 times 100, or the hireling is arrested and taken away. If this loss leaves one of your facilities without any hirelings, that facility can't be used on your next Bastion turn. Wow.
That feels awful, scooping people up.
It really does.
Deporting them. I don't like that.
I would kill those people. I'm killing the bounty hunters.
Absolutely.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you might not be home, though. That's the fucking tricky part. Oh, if I found out about this, it would change the story.
Yeah.
If I wasn't home and I found out one of my employees, one of my hirelings, one of my friends gets fucking bounty hunted, guess what? The tables are turning, my friend, because I'm hunting those bounty. I'm a bounty hunter.
Right.
That's what's gonna happen. Oh man, that would piss me off, dog. That would piss me off.
I really love these Bastions though.
It's so cool. Friendly visitors. A bunch of friendly visitors come. They offer a bunch of gold to use some of your facilities, maybe. A guest comes. A friendly guest comes. You roll one more time, and it tells you all the different things that could happen based on who that guest is. Lost hirelings. This is just straight up, you've lost hirelings.
That's
you randomly determine one of your special facilities, and it loses some of its hirelings. The cause of the departure is up to you. Facility can't be used on your next Bastion turn, and the hirelings are replaced at no cost. So a lot of these are like temporary setbacks.
Right.
But all different kinds of things. One of them is refugees. A group of refugees come fleeing from a monster attack, a natural disaster, or some other calamity. If your Bastion lacks a basic facility large enough to house them, then they camp outside the Bastion. They offer you payment for your hospitality and protection. They stay until you find them a new home or a hostile force attacks your Bastion.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, that's pretty hardcore. Treasure is the huge one. Yeah. Treasure is you have to roll a 99 or a 100, and then a 1 through 40, you're pretty much getting 25 gold pieces, 50 gold pieces. 41 and above, it goes up. It goes up for the most part, right until you get to 76 to 90. 76 to 90 is a common magic item, which, let's be honest, that's fucking useless. I mean, they're cute. No one loves a cloak of billowing more than me, but they're dumb. And then you have to roll a 91 or above to get an uncommon or rare.
Okay.
Good luck with that, man.
Yeah.
That shit's crazy. Speaking of which, man, later today we're going to be
rolling the number that you want on a D100 35. When it's less than 10 is practically impossible on the high end or the low end.
I know. Divine intervention, truly a miracle that happens, which is why that mechanic kind of fit for that particular skill set, especially given how open-ended the mechanics were for how it works. But after this, we're going to be recording the cleric episode. Gang, wait till you see what they changed with the cleric. Tune in next week. But because they changed the fuck out of divine intervention. I don't know if you saw, Taylor.
Yeah, I did.
They changed the fuck out of it. Actually, a lot of things. There's a ton that's the same, but we'll get into that. That's another episode. I'm already talking about another episode. And so finally, let's talk about the fall of a bastion.
Okay.
Sometimes you can lose your bastion.
Crazy about this.
Yeah, it is possible to lose your bastion. You got to take care of your things. You can't just expect everything to stay perfectly maintained unless you maintain it. You got to take those maintain actions. And so there's a couple ways to lose it that they have listed here. 3 in particular. The first one is divestiture. Take it from the top. The first one, divestiture. What the fuck,
there
Justin?
It is.
Divestiture. I don't like hitting that last syllable that way. Doesn't it feel like there should be a hidden S in there and it should be divestiture or something? I don't know. I'm getting close to Devonshire. Like now I'm talking about random lands in Ireland.
Yeah.
Well, have you been to the divestiture? Have you been to the mountaintop? Have you seen the divestiture? My God. It was just a wee divestiture. And so with this particular word, divesting, fuck me, a character can give up their bastion anytime, releasing the hirelings, abandoning the location, and it's quickly vacated and eventually looted and might even be burned to the ground.
It's wild that they wrote that in there.
It might.
Yeah, it's gonna get looted.
To the ground.
Yeah, they're gonna loot the shit. It's gonna get everything's gonna be taken out of it. Some guys gonna be like, "Damn, I really like that couch. I'm taking that couch."
And I might light this whole place on fire.
On the way out.
And then the second one is neglect. So this is the one I was referring to earlier. If a character issues no orders to their bastion for a number of consecutive bastion turns equal to the character's level.
Okay.
Typically, so this is because the character is dead or otherwise out of commission.
And so this is specifically you've not given the maintain action or something.
Correct.
Like that.
Yeah.
Does it work for a specific?
No, it's all the whole bastion.
Rooms?
I was incorrect. I thought it was. I was incorrect. It is the entirety of the bastion.
Okay.
So this would be like, there's all different kinds of, because it comes up for the next one, which is insane. But there's crazy effects that happen in the game, powerful magic items that have curses, all kinds of weird things. Your soul gets trapped in a gem on another plane of existence. Your players don't even know where it is unless they use the wish spell, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Can't give orders. You're trapped in a gem, dog. So your hirelings are just sitting around going, he hasn't called in 3 months. I'm getting out of here. Actually, light it on fire.
Forget it. Grab the couch.
And light it on fire. That's what we do. It's a burn sale, motherfuckers.
I just watched the other day the Family Guy Star Wars thing, and there's a whole bit where they get trapped. When they get trapped in the garbage chute.
Garbage chute thing, yeah. And
it's like, it's like, you know what? That's actually a really nice couch. I know we're in a hurry and everything, but like, I'm taking this couch.
I'm taking it. No, I have a retro electric organ / piano in my bedroom that barely works and is so heavy because it was on the side of the road.
Fair.
When I first moved into the house that I'm in now, I literally saw it on the side of the road with my roommate and was like, I'm getting that piano. When else am I ever going to have a fucking piano in my room? You know what I mean? Like, it's big, it's wooden, it's electric. It has these, if I showed you a picture of it, man, it's got 2 keyboards, like 2 levels of keyboards. And then a bunch of buttons and dials and like weird things. It looks like it would be perfect at like a local church for like the worship music. Like, it looks perfect.
So it's like an electric organ almost, not so much a piano. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and you can change the instruments. Like, I can change the keys, just like an old, but like a normal electric piano. But like, this is such old school. But yeah, you can change like to a flute sound or something. And
500 D cell batteries.
Oh, it plugs into the wall actually.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's in one place since it's gotten here, and it's never moving. But anyway, so the final and possibly most devastating way to lose your bastion is ruination. And this is kind of they write a little bit more, but it's pretty much just this. You draw the ruin card from the deck of many things.
That's rough, buddy.
Yep.
Although I'll be honest, I'm curious to see how the deck of many things would play out. Like, I would fully sign on for whatever the fuck, just because there's so many good things in there, but there's also really bad things. Like the one that you were talking about of like your soul gets trapped in a fucking gem and gone.
Yeah. I have the Dungeon Master's Guide in front of me. I can look up the list right now, actually.
Yeah.
It would be under D for deck, I imagine.
Probably.
Right.
That would make sense. Yeah.
I'm still under F. Where's the
but then
Ds?
other ones are like you just level up. You get an extra level, or you get a little friend that follows you around.
Whoa. Yeah, these are wild, dude. Okay, so deck of many things. Would you prefer for the deck? Because, when you find these decks, it might not have all the cards, right? That's like a normal thing for DMs and stuff. And so they give you a table here in the Dungeon Master's Guide for a 13-card deck or a 22-card deck. So would you rather to have all the cards there, as this version of Taylor in this podcast right now draws from the deck?
Yeah. Absolutely.
All of the options. Amazing.
3 cards. I'm pulling 3 cards.
Incredible. So we're going to have to do them in a row, because if the first one is Take Your Soul, it doesn't matter what the second ones are.
Right.
But okay, go ahead and draw your first card. D100.
Oh, God. Got it. That's 76.
76. You pull out a card that has a depiction of a skull on it.
Oh, no. Dead. Just dead, right?
No. Maybe, but no, not right away. An avatar of death appears in an unoccupied space as close to you as possible. The avatar targets only you with its attacks, appearing as a ghostly skeleton clad in tattered black robes and carrying a spectral scythe. The avatar disappears when it drops to 0 hit points or you die. If an ally of yours deals damage to the avatar... Wait, this is crazy. If an ally of yours deals damage to the avatar, that ally summons another avatar of death.
Whoa!
And then that avatar of death only targets that ally.
That's crazy.
And your allies, that's so funny. You and your allies can each only summon one avatar as a consequence of this draw. A creature slain... Oof, this fucks. In a bad way, I mean. A creature slain by an avatar cannot be restored to life.
Rough.
It does not
that's it.
Allow for the wish spell to bring you back.
Game over, man.
Literally nothing.
Game over.
Can bring you back. Now, here's the good news. The Avatar of Death has an AC of 20, and its hit point max is half of your hit point max.
That's a lot, though.
It's still a decent amount.
A lot. I've actually, you know what? I feel like I've done half of my hit point in one turn.
No doubt. Oh, absolutely.
With no chance of survival.
Yeah. I don't think it would be that insane to kill an Avatar of Death. This doesn't seem that broken, because it's like, here's the biggest challenges. The fact that it gets multi-attack, and the multi-attack is whatever your proficiency bonus is divided by 2, rounded up.
Ooh,
so
boy.
Whatever that is, like right now in the game, what are you guys out of? 5 now?
+5, yeah.
I think 14. You guys should be out of 5, I think. But let's say it's 5.
I don't have my character sheet open. Yeah,
no worries.
So
then
it would be
3 attacks.
You get 3 attacks. Okay.
Now these 3 attacks don't do the most damage ever. It's 2d8 plus 3.
Right, but there's probably some stank attached to it, right?
It auto hits.
No,
that's it.
Oh, okay.
That's the only stank, is that it auto hits.
Okay.
So you're just taking 6d8 plus 9 every turn.
Okay.
And then as soon as your friends start fighting it, because obviously the DM, aka myself, we're not going to read out loud, if your friend hits it. The players don't know that, or the PCs rather don't know that.
Right.
So presumably 99%
you come under
of the
attack,
time,
instantly get hit, like for auto hits.
Yeah, your friend is getting hit. They're gonna attack this random ass monster. It looks like a monster, and then boom, another one's pop out. Another one pops up. Another one pops up. Like, it's crazy, dude. That's fucking wild.
One.
So that's just your first card.
Right. Okay. All right. Second card. Here we go.
Second card.
Here we go. 20.
A 20.
2-0.
Ooh, okay. You pull a card out. I don't know what the card would actually have on it, but it's called the Fates.
Okay.
Reality's Fabric.
I'm imagining the old ladies from Hercules.
It's pretty
with
accurate.
The thread and the one eyeball that they hand to each other.
Oh yeah, it's pretty accurate. Because actually it's probably more powerful than those 3 ladies, because I don't think they can do a ton to fuck up with fate. I think they just kind of watch over it and stuff. This is different. This is stronger.
Okay.
Reality's fabric unravels and spins anew, allowing you to avoid or erase one event as if it never happened. You can use the card's magic as soon as you draw the card or at any time before you die.
Whoa.
That's vague. What does an event mean? Can an event last multiple days?
I'm undoing the fall of Waterdeep.
Right?
It.
Like, how much are we breaking the campaign, bro? Like,
we're going home to the Bastion, baby.
Here's the thing, though. You take away, like, here's the interesting part about it, because I think that's an incredible point to bring up, is like, you as Kaladin can reverse this event, right? This event. Right. That event is how you get your brother back. It's how Fellis is getting reunited with her mom. It's how Sunny and Ian end up getting married. Like, it actually is the precipice of a lot of important events, and you would be taking all of those away. Right. Which, I mean, not to say that it's good or bad. It's just interesting.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
It's very heavy.
Oof. Brutal. Or you could just hang on to it and be like,
now, do you retain memory of the old timeline, or does it just get wiped away? Fair.
It doesn't say, so that would be a question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's your second card.
Last
you know
card.
what you can do? Actually, I don't have an Avatar of Death.
Let's go. Here we go.
Actually, I drew a better card, and it was cock.
A 57.
Draw the cock card. 57. Ooh, I don't know what this one does. Puzzle. Oh no, Taylor.
Yeah, it's intelligence saving throw, I'm thinking, right?
Nope. I wish. Permanently reduce your intelligence or wisdom by 1d4 plus 1.
Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
It also says, hey, if you want, you can draw an additional card beyond your declared number of cards. So if you want a fourth card, you can do it. You're a stupid boy. You might do it anyway.
Yeah, I'm stupid. I was already stupid, and now I'm even more stupid. So 66.
That's so funny. 66. Oh no, Taylor! These cards are bad.
Every one of them sounds awful.
Guess what, gang? This is the perfect way to end this episode, because you just pulled the ruin card.
No, my Bastion! No!
All forms of wealth that you carry or own other than magical items are lost to you. Portable property vanishes. Businesses, buildings, and land you own are lost in a way that alters reality the least. If you have a Bastion, it is destroyed by some calamity beyond your control. Any documentation that proves you should own something lost to this card also disappears.
Fuck. Wow, that's bad. Never mind. I'm going to, you know what? I was saying, it'd be kind of fun to have this in our actual game. I don't want to ever see
it's coming up in the actual game, my friend.
Oh, no.
It will be slightly modified so as not to totally break the game.
Uh-huh. Jeez. I didn't get one good thing out of this. It was all bad. Every single card was a bad card.
No, you got the Fates card is good.
The Fates card, okay,
change an event. It's not as good as you gain 2 levels of character, like XP.
Right.
Fucking nuts. You get 3 wishes. It's not that good, but it's still like not ruin, death, and mayhem. But man,
Jesus.
And it's crazy. While you were rolling, I didn't want to steal your thunder or anything. I rolled a little bit too, and I actually got a 69, which is the Fresca card.
Nice.
Thanks,
Fresca. Get out of here.
Thank you, Fresca.
Oh my God, that's all we can get into this time. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram at So You Want to Be a DM. You can ask us a question at soyouwannabeadm@gmail.com. If you like the episode, don't forget to give us 5 stars and a review wherever you found us, and check out the Patreon, the Twitch, and our merch with the link in the description. Join us next time for more Dungeon Master tips and tricks.
Bye.
See you.
And now I get to shout out the members of our Patreon gang. Nub Muffins, may Paylor's light shine upon you. And then there's Tappy, Molly, and Elijah. Thank you all so much for being members of our Patreon gang. Remember, you can find the link to that in the description of the episode. And also remember this, we love you. Thanks again, and tune in next time for more tips and tricks from So You Wanna Be a DM.